Hey admins, how we doing out there? I will keep this one short this week, I promise. A few things I want to cover really fast though is just our association numbers. Of course, today comes out the new numbers for October. October is what we call one of those legacy months. There's when Moose used to not keep everybody's members records up currently monthly, and we weren't online and all that kind of stuff. There were certain months where there were a lot of people expiring. So October is one of those former legacy months where we have a lot of members that expire. So right now, as of the beginning of the month of October, we're down 1,300 members for the association as a whole. That's a big number, but we have lots of people expiring this month. So we just want to make sure we keep up on contacting expired members. Again, I won't harp on it too much, but we've got to reach out to those women, the ladies that don't realize they have to pay lodge dues. I know I say almost every video, it's because it's really important, because right now our association numbers are down below 60% retention. That means there's like 40% of our membership, and we know a huge chunk of that is women who don't realize they have to pay lodge dues. Again, we can reach out to them and explain to them, and we can remind them that they have gotten the 3 years of chapter dues for free if they were current last April 30th, 2020, or excuse me, 2021. And yes, they have to pay lodge dues, but in the future, if they do not wish to pay chapter dues, they don't have to pay the chapter dues. They don't have to be a chapter member anymore, just like the Moose Legion. Yes, we want to encourage them to, and we want them to be involved, but unless they're going to be an officer in the lodge or have a higher degree and want to keep that higher degree or get a higher degree, they don't have to be a chapter member. So let's just remind them of that. A couple quick things. Hospitality rooms, I know people have been asking about that, and the association vice president has contacted all of the district presidents. They know the agenda of what's happening there. We are having one large room. For those of you who've been in the past, it will be down the Brickyard Bar. We're going to have that facility. And district presidents should be asking for donations for liquor, booze, beer, things like that for the hospitality suite. Feel free to write your name on it if you want that bottle back, but it again should be just a donation to the association. Again, we ask you don't give that crappy bottle that's been sitting on the shelf for 3 months. Give something that you would like, something halfway decent. And remember, when you're donating that, in your cost of goods, when that invoice comes in, you have to write that off. Don't put that bottle of liquor or that case of beer in your cost of goods. It's going to throw your percentage off, and then when I come to do a social court analysis, and it's going to be higher. So when you're doing a lodge celebration or whatever it is, something like this, that's what I would put under celebration costs. So that expense goes in there. It doesn't go into your cost of goods and make a negative number on your social quarter sales. If you aren't for sure what I'm talking about, give me a call. I'll explain that. Reading emails. We have lots of lodges not reading emails, and then it comes out from either Moose International or myself, including this video. And then later that week, I'm getting a phone call from an administrator wanting to know an issue, which was like, we literally just covered that. And they don't know it because they didn't read an email or they didn't watch this video. Like, for example, the Rocker and Cradle fundraiser comes out in the spring and in the fall. Right now we're on the fall one in October, and Moose International sent out an email with the placards in it and what it's about. They're not sending the hard copies to lodge anymore. They're trying to save money. So they were always sending a copy of all that paperwork and having to mail it as an expense. Now they've emailed it to you, and all you have to do is print it up. That's the only place you're going to find that now. So you have to make sure you're reading emails and reading them carefully. Don't call me up wanting to know where they're at now, because I'm going to simply tell you they were already in an email and they've already been sent to you. So it's vital that you read each email that comes out. Now I get it. There are certain emails that come from Moose International when you're talking to your membership and your board of officers. When it gets down to that part of maybe a position's open, and or buy something from catalog sales because it's Christmas time, and or Halloween, there's a party coming up, order from the supply house. I don't care if you're reading those out to your general membership. You can skip that, but the important stuff you need to be letting them know. So when we're talking about 990s, again, I'm in the middle of getting a couple lodges that haven't done their 990s or filed for an extension, and then the officer are like, we don't even know what 990s are. You get a gazillion emails, communications from Moose International and myself about 990s. There's no reason why an officer of the lodge doesn't know what a 990 is and where the status is, whether we've already filed, it's already been sent off, we filed an extension. Your officer should know that also. So again, it's those communications, it's very important that those are getting sent out to everybody. Again, this video, I don't expect you to make every board of officer watch, but the information that I'm giving to you, you need to be passing along. And along those lines, I've had lots of lodges recently that have been struggling financially, and some that are doing really well. Well, there's something we realized that happened during COVID, and we lost a lot of activities in the lodge, and then those activities never came back. One of the questions I always get is, what are the good lodges doing? And I hate to refer to them as good lodges, but the lodges that are doing well, have money in the bank, have lots of things going on, have lots of member participation. It's activities, and we've lost that in a lot of lodges. The lodges that are really struggling have absolutely no activities, or maybe one or two. You cannot just open the door and expect someone to come in and buy a drink and play tips. I mean, that's nice, we have those, but if you don't have anything else for them to come in for, they're not going to come in. Those days of just opening the door and having lots of participation is pretty much gone. You have to have activities. You have to have activities every day of the week. I can give some examples of what the lodges that have a lot of activities, what they're doing, but I can't tell you what's specifically good for you in your lodge. You as a board have to figure that out. Now, what I'm always talking about is, you know, you can't just say, hey, we're going to have poker and it's going to do well and that's what we're going to push. If you don't have somebody to help orchestrate that project, then it's not going to do well. You have to go out as a board of officers and find people. And I don't expect the administrator and the president to be doing it all. The administrator shouldn't be putting on 7 activities a week, neither should the president. For example, and I like to use euchre as an example always. So if a lodge doesn't have euchre, I don't suggest go just have euchre and it's gonna and they will magically come. You need to find somebody within that lodge that really likes euchre. Approach them, say, hey, would you be our gaming chairman, our euchre chairman? Would you get a tournament started, get a night going, and have them in charge of it? Doesn't have to be one of the officers necessarily. If you have nobody in the lodge that likes to play euchre, then euchre is probably not the thing to have. And that goes for darts, pool tournaments, cornhole tournaments. You know, if their kitchen's not open on a certain night, you know, get volunteers together that are willing to cook and cook that special. And, you know, Tuesday or Wednesday, a slow night, that'd be a special meal night. And they come in and they cook that meal. You need to find somebody that likes to cook. The lodge itself, the lodge officer shouldn't be determining necessarily what it's going to be up out of thin air. They need to find people and cultivate those people to start a project. I know of 2 lodges that have the bowling machines, and I'm not saying you should get a bowling machine and it's going to cure your problems, but these 2 lodges have done that on their own and have found a group that likes to play. Each lodge on different nights have a group of people that show up to play that. Now, yes, we make half of what people play on the video game, but they're in there eating and drinking and playing pull tabs, so there's a whole mixture. Now, that might be bringing a dozen people in on that one night. Is that alone going to save that lodge? No. But they have other projects going on other nights. And again, it's having a multitude of activities. That's just what we're not having right now. I think that's all I have. If you guys need any ideas for starting an activity, just look at the other lodges around you and what they're doing. Try emulating that. But again, don't force an activity on the lodge that we don't know is going to do well. You know, you could always try to bring in a dartboard or 2, and that's fine. But we need to find somebody to start a league and have something going on. Don't just expect to put 2 dartboards up and boom, suddenly you're going to have, you know, 20 players every week playing darts. It's not going to work that way. I've kept this under 10 minutes and I was trying to keep it shorter, but I just wanted to pass that along. Thank you very much. Have a good week.